What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's get into a little sneak peek, okay? So, I did a video where it was a compilation of the sneak peeks for Married to Medicine, Real Housewives of Potomac, as well as Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And last night, OMFG Reality TV released a sneak peek for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and I decided why not do one for them? So, let's get into it. All right, y'all. So let's get into this sneak peek. So, like I said in the intro, it was posted by OMFG Reality TV. It's 4 minutes and 15 seconds, and they posted it on January the 3rd. So, let's talk about it. So, it opens up, and it's the next day that the ladies are on their cash trip. This is after what happened the night prior, where, Lisa walked away from the table crying after getting into it with Bronwyn, Whitney, and Angie. So pretty much we see Angie and Bronwyn sitting on the balcony eating breakfast, asking each other how did they sleep the night before, and they both said they slept pretty well. But then we get this scene of Lisa, who basically lets it be known she didn't sleep well. She's eating by herself. She looks upset and disheveled. And then in her confessional, she's pretty much saying that, like, she's processing what happened the night before. Like, she didn't expect all of them to come at her. And now she's finding out that people are talking negatively behind her back. So then they flash to a flashback of where it's the night before. And we see Bronwyn in Lisa's room with Meredith. And Bronwyn is pretty much snitching on Heather, Whitney, and Angie about the conversation they had prior, where Bronwyn was saying that she didn't feel supported while they were on the yacht. And that's when Whitney ends up saying, like, maybe they're defending Todd because they've been accused of cheating and they're cheaters. So now Lisa's like, so all of y'all are talking trash behind my back. And Bronwyn is like, yeah, I'm not proud of the conversation that we had. I'm here to just let you know. So Lisa ends up texting all the girls because she was like, we got to go ATV riding. But now she's irritated because she don't even really want to do nothing with any of them after Bronwyn telling her all of this information. So then we get this scene of Mary where she's just like, she wished that she could talk to Robert Jr., but we know that he's in rehab. And normally they talk to each other all the time, but she's just glad that he is in a safe and better place. So we then get this scene of Meredith going to Heather's room to see what Heather is wearing for ATV riding. And Meredith ends up asking Heather, girl, what's up with Brittany? Because the night prior, she asking me, am I okay at dinner? And asking me, do I need any sleeping pills? And mind you, she talked to me the night before to ask me if I was okay. But now you trying to ask me in front of everybody, trying to insinuate that, like, I'm unstable or I have an eating disorder. Now, if you listen to my review or go watch my review for the last episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I thought that that's what the insinuation was, that either she had an eating disorder. But I also felt like maybe Meredith was crying on the phone to Seth or somebody. But I do think it's kind of weird that in the after show, Brittany let it be known, and so did Meredith, that they asked, like, Brittany came up to her and asked Meredith, was she okay? So we know that Brittany bringing it up at the table was to have a moment, and Meredith caught it, and now she pissed. Because now she feels some type of way, because she's like, girl, I kicked Angie out of my event for you. Now, mind you, Meredith, you kicked Angie out of your bat mitzvah because you wanted to kick Angie out your bat mitzvah. It wasn't to protect Brittany. It was not to protect Brittany. So now Meredith is on the warpath and ready to take Brittany down. And you can tell that Heather's like, ooh, this not about to be fun or good for Miss Brittany. So that was the sneak peek. So if you guys want to go and watch it for yourself, please go visit OMFG Reality TV on Twitter or on Instagram. They're the ones that always keep everybody in the know about the schedule. And they also updated the schedule for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So it looks like the season finale airs on January the 15th. And then the reunion part 1 airs on January the 22nd, which is crazy because I thought we at least had 3 or 4 more episodes before we got to the finale. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, it's almost over. So let's talk about this 4 minute and 15 second clip. So first up, I think Meredith has every right to be mad at Brittany, because finding out that Meredith spoke to Brittany, or Brittany spoke to Meredith and asked her if she was okay, and Meredith told her she was fine, there was legit no need for Brittany to bring up, are you okay, Meredith? Like, how are you feeling at the table? Like, Brittany wanted a moment, and it was plain, like, it was clear as day that that's what she wanted. And she didn't get a moment, but she started a moment at the table. So I get why Meredith is upset. What I'm not going to be on Meredith's side is her trying to act like she threw Angie out of her bat mitzvah on the behalf of Brittany because she cared about Brittany. Girl, you threw Angie out because you don't really like Angie. But I will say, Meredith has gotten into it with Whitney, Angie, Mary, and Brittany. And when it comes to Mary and Angie, I'm on their side, but when it comes to Whitney and Brittany, I totally understand where Meredith is coming from. So then Mary, I'm happy that, we got to see Robert Jr. go to rehab, and it's understandable why Mary is struggling with not being able to communicate to her child when that's something that they do every day. But she knows he's in a good place. So that was a nice, acknowledgement of what's going on in her life. So let's talk about Lisa and Bronwyn. And I'm going to be honest, Bronwyn is annoying me, and she's low-key exhausting. I'm going to just have to call a thing. Low-key exhausting. Because this is the third time we are seeing Bronwyn pretty much go out of her way to try to get back in Lisa's good graces and also absolve herself of like really getting in trouble for talking bad about people behind their back. Because the whole Hill Whitney situation, people can act like that wasn't shady of Bronwyn, but it was. Bronwyn was in that car with Lisa and Heather mocking Whitney and making fun of her. But then we see that Bronwyn went and had a sit down with Whitney and says the same line, but not with the same inflections or with the same tone or demeanor to make it like, try to downplay it like it wasn't that deep. Then she threw Lisa under the bus after she felt some type of way that Lisa did not, defend her to Heather in that moment or stand up for her. So she threw Lisa under the bus by telling Millie about the conversation that they also had in the car about Millie being known to like return all her stuff at like Neiman Marcus and all of that stuff. And then we have another scene of where Bronwyn throws Angie and Whitney under the bus to get into the good graces of Heather and Lisa at the Girl Scout situation. Then we have it happening again at Meredith's bat mitzvah because Bronwyn didn't like the fact that she was on the outs with Whitney and Angie. So she throws Brittany under the bus to Angie to get in the good graces of Angie. And then now we have her doing it again with throwing Heather, Whitney, and Angie under the bus to get in the good graces of Lisa, all the while not where she acts like she wasn't a part of these conversations when she is. And it's just like, I don't like that. That's real sneaky to me, okay? And I'm not saying I don't think Bronwyn is a good addition to the cast. I definitely think she is, but I feel like she's becoming like Icarus. She's flying too close to the sun because she's making enemies out of everybody. And she's not really thinking about like, oh, I need to make allies. She's worried too much about trying to be so real and so blunt and honest, where I'm like, girl, you can be real and you can be honest and blunt, but like you also are showing that you don't have any loyalty to anybody. And even with this back and forth that I saw on Twitter, where Bronwyn pretty much exposed private text messages between her and Lisa to prove a point. And I've told y'all, sometimes you got to go there with people to prove a point. But in this instance, I don't think Bronwyn understands that it did more harm to her point than good, because when you read the text messages, it's nothing. It's a nothing burger. And then on top of that, I don't think she understands that this is probably going to make the other ladies on the cast be very cautious with sending her information or talking to her through text messages if they know that when she gets mad enough, she's going to expose it. So let's talk about this back and forth. So this was posted by Queens of Bravo on January the 4th, and it says this: Bronwyn just posted a statement against Lisa Barlow and a text message between the two of them. and then they put hashtag RHOSLC. So the way that it started off is a Twitter fan page by the name of Freak and Fraud, but they have the Twitter handle of Bethany's Waterbed, reposted a screenshot of Bronwyn being featured in a New York magazine, and they added Lisa by saying, at Lisa Barlow wishes. So then Lisa responded by saying, hi Bronwyn. So then Bronwyn caught wind of this because of Mary Crosby's fan page adding her into the conversation. So Mary Crosby's fan page quote tweeted Lisa Barlow saying, hi Bronwyn, by saying, here you go again. I talked to the real at Bronwyn Newport, and all I must say is you better lawyer up with the slander at Lisa Barlow 7, hashtag RHOSOC. So Bronwyn responded by saying, I haven't spoken to anyone, and certainly not about this. I have been taking care of my ailing parents for weeks and not on Twitter in even longer. This kind of stuff is ridiculous. I haven't even posted on my own Twitter, let alone created a fan accounts or made statements to them. Just enjoy the show and stop the side mess. Everyone, please. So basically she's saying that Mary Crosby's fan page is lying about actually having a conversation with her, and she's not a fan page either. So she was directing both Lisa and the fan page. So I said at this point, this is where the conversation should have stopped, but it didn't. So like I said, it should have stopped with that comment because I felt like that was enough, but Bronwyn felt like that wasn't enough, so she took it to Instagram. So she took a screenshot of Lisa responding to the freaking fraud, Bethany's Waterbed post by saying this: our show is dramatic and entertaining enough when it follows our real lives. I'm not sure why we need to do this. 2, I'm not on Twitter nearly at all and haven't been for a month or so, especially now. I have my hands full with trying to be the best daughter I can to 2 very sick parents. I'm so appreciative for those of you who have reached out and for the castmates who bothered too. The rest I wish would at least leave me alone if they can't wish me well. Making TikToks about my outfits or accusations on Twitter right now or last week when my mom was in the ICU with a brain tumor is kicking a dog when it's already down. So when she made this post, a lot of people were like, who made a TikTok about her outfits and, were critiquing her outfits or making accusations on Twitter? But I think she was talking about the fans. But as I continue reading her next slide that she put in her Insta story, I think she's talking about her castmates, but I feel like maybe she's reading too deeply into them. And the only reason why I say that is I feel like if the ladies were on their TikToks really shading Bronwyn in such a way, the blogs would have picked it up and posted it. They post everything, especially if Lisa was one of the ladies shading her, or Heather or Meredith. I was like, it can't be Brittany, because Brittany right now is trying to start a feud with Lisa. So I wonder, is she talking about Angie or Whitney or Mary? But I don't see them doing that either and it not being picked up by the blogs. So let's continue. So Bronwyn continues talking in her Insta story by posting several screenshots of text message conversations that she's had with Lisa. And she writes over one of the text message conversation where it says, on the show, I'm willing to say it to people's faces and stand on it. Off camera, I try to be their friends when they need it, no matter what may have happened between us. Watching the show back, I'm embarrassed how I didn't see this wasn't a deep friendship. I obviously chased too hard and for too long, so I'm not surprised I'm not getting support, but I wish the attacks and TikToks from some on the show would stop when I am struggling so hard with my family right now. So I feel like, again, if any of the ladies were talking bad about Bronwyn on TikTok, it would have made the blogs. So I'm kind of feeling like Bronwyn might be reading too much into this, but that's just me. So let's get into these screenshots of these text messages. So it starts off with May the 12th, Mother's Day. and it says, "Happy Mother's Day. Jack and Henry are so lucky to have the best mom ever." And that's Bronwyn to Lisa. So then Lisa responds by saying, "Bronwyn, happy Mother's Day. Gwen is so lucky to have you. You're always putting her first and are an amazing and loving mother." So then the next text message starts off on May the 13th, where Lisa responds to Bronwyn by saying, "Hey, I have to do an interview tomorrow midday. Lori just asked me to go in. Can you reschedule?" So then Bronwyn responds by saying, "Of course." So then we have May the 15th, where Bronwyn sends a message to Lisa by saying, "Hey, I didn't know Jack had come home. Did I hear you say for surgery? Is he okay? Can I do anything to help?" So then Lisa responds on May the 16th by saying, "Thanks so much. He's doing great. I'm so glad he came home to make sure he has a great experience for the last 14 months." So then Bronwyn responds to her by saying, "I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I would have never asked you to do lunch if I knew he was here. Please let me know if I can help with anything. So happy he's doing well." So then on June the 6th, you got Bronwyn messaging Lisa being like, "Hi, still really love to get together when you have time." So I guess this was during the time where Lisa was not talking to her and kind of ghosting her and putting her on pause. And so then Lisa responds by saying, "Same, let me make it happen. Let's do it after the shoot." So then on June the 12th, you have Bronwyn saying, "Excited to see you today. It's been too long." So then Lisa says, "Me too." So then on June the 9th, Bronwyn responds to Lisa or messages Lisa by saying, "Hey, I just left you a voicemail. I saw the trash on TMZ and wanted to tell you I'm sorry people are so awful and always trying to say horrific things. I didn't even read it, but I know you're an amazing businesswoman and everyone wishes they could be you." So then Lisa responds by saying, I think it's Pat Carlson or Bart Carlson was once a business partner in the restaurant in Park City, and I thought a friend, and I'm deeply... So part of Lisa's response to Bronwyn got cut off, but the next screenshot that she posted says, "Bart or his company money is untrue. I pay my bills and my obligations and I'm always have. In addition, Bart has no interest in luxury marketing or Vita Tequila and did not invest in our business. I look forward to the truth coming out and I intend to hold Bart fully responsible for any damage this personal attack may cause me and my business." So then Bronwyn responds by saying, "I'm sure you're busy and much too fab to get into it, but if you want to vent, I'm around." And so then Lisa responded saying, "It's all BS. Here's a statement from my lawyer. We are probably going to have to countersue. Unfortunately, thank you for checking in. It literally is disgusting. I have been in business with him over a decade. Thank you so much, Bronwyn. I appreciate it." Now, everyone was going up about Lisa not spelling Bronwyn's name correctly, but if I use voice notes, sometimes I get my friends' names wrong, so it's not that deep. So then Bronwyn responded saying, "I'm sorry. I knew it was bogus, like I said, but I wanted to check in." So then the last screenshot she posted was on August the 15th. And it says, "Some just sent me an SOB article about another person suing you. I'm sorry people are trying to defame you. I can't imagine how hard and frustrating it must be. I don't know where things went so left with us or why, but this sucks and I hate that it's happening to you. And I'm sorry. I'm always wanting the best for you." So then I think she sent Lisa sent a screenshot of the case being dismissed and prayer emoji hands. So here's the thing. I get that Bronwyn posted the text messages to prove a point, to show like, hey, me and Lisa weren't in a good place, but I was always checking on her to make sure that she was all right. But where I think a lot of people who had different sentiments and some people who agreed with my post on Twitter, I just feel like, girl, the statement that you made, the first one, that was enough, where you were basically saying that like you don't really have time to be online, you're not on making fake fan accounts, you're not talking to anybody, you're worried about your parents. But to then post the text messages, it reeks of like low-key kind of desperation, because the point was already made. Like you made your point, and then now you're posting these text messages out. And like I said, I don't think Bronwyn understands that makes like the rest of the ladies probably cautious of her too. Because if I was them, I wouldn't be texting Bronwyn. Like, I'd be like, girl, if we text it in a group chat so everybody sees what we talking about, because what you're not gonna do is post private messages. And I always feel like that's icky to do so, especially when the situation isn't that deep. Like, if it was like something where someone was lying on you, or it's like an abuse situation or blackmail, I totally understand. Post them text messages, protect yourself. But in this situation, it wasn't that serious, in my opinion, for her to post this. And now it just kind of makes her look desperate to me. But yeah, y'all, that is it. That is all. As always, remember to be bravely authentic. Definitely hop down in the comments below. Please share your thoughts. Remember to like and subscribe. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.